What's up everyone, welcome to Versatile Fun Designs. Today I have the LEGO Creator Forest Animals Red Fox set. It's set number 31154, it's a 9+ set with 667 pieces, and it's a 3-in-1, so you could build it either into a red fox, an owl, or a cute little squirrel. So let's get started with the fox. And we can see here more of the 3 builds at different angles. All 3 of these look really cool to me, spoiler alert. Let's build the fox first. Alright, so in this set we got 5 numbered bags, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We also got 3 instructions manuals. So this one for the fox being the largest, with 110 pages. And here's a look at the part list, by the way, for those of you who are interested. And this owl has 59 pages, which means it probably uses less pieces, and the squirrel has 63 pages, so that means it uses less pieces as well, most likely. As usual, I will not be using any of these instructions, I'll just be putting them to the side, but I will check one thing though. So, do we get the building phases with these instructions? No, we do not. So, we do get a teal brick separator apparently. So it just tells you empty bag 1, and then in the end you're going to have this fox after all the bags, but it doesn't tell you that bag 1 builds this, bag 2 builds that, which is really a shame because as recently as last year, we used to get these building phases across all themes, including LEGO Creator. Nevertheless, let's get started with bag 1. So here we have, before we continue any further, I just want to comment a little bit on the head. It looks really cute. You look at it from all angles, it has one attachment point right here. Oops. This needs to be like this. Yeah, so if you look at it straight on, the eyes appear to be maybe a little bit close together, but from a lot of other angles it looks pretty cool. I don't know why this part is... So this thing here represents the tongue, most likely. This I'm not quite sure why it's black, but I guess it does help with the appearance. Yeah, really good to see. I like all the details here and how they were achieved, and the consistent look of white at the bottom. Now the rest of these pieces here are not towards building the head, but they were towards building the chest here, and all this is going to be the rest of bag 2. And we are done with the build. This was fun to put together. Very interesting. We do get this fox here. I'll spend most time talking about that. Then I'll go back to this Star Wars Easter egg side build. There are no minifigures included in the set, but if you want, you can bring your own minifigures and make them sit on this fox. You could sit 1, 2, 3, 4 at a time, and you can also use the sides if you really, really want to. However, this is not primarily intended as a minifigure set, so I can't complain too much about the lack of minifigures, although I will not complain if they add like a forest man because it's a forest animals set. I will never complain about that. Alright, so let's start with the head and go on down. So it's pretty cute. It's exactly what you see on the box, although it is smaller. So if you're not familiar with Lego, this is not like a 1-to-1 size. It's like a baby fox in size. I'll remove the box for the rest of the review just so the focus is easier on the camera that I'm currently using. We're done with bag 5, obviously, all the bags. So here is the fox. I'll spin it around so you can see it from all angles. And here's a look from the top, as well as the bottom. And notice that the bottom has this consistent, or almost entirely consistent, white underneath, which is quite realistic. LEGO did not used to do this in the past, so I'm happy that they're doing this now. Again, the eyes are very, very cute. Yeah, just look at that. And this is all like standard brick built techniques. There's no specialized mold or anything like with some of the Ninjago dragons or stuff like that. It's all purely brick built. I really appreciate that. The mouth can open and close. The whole head can articulate and go down like this and up, all the way up like this. You can also go side to side like this because it is on a ball joint after all, so it's pretty flexible. The neck can move as well, although it's more limited. It is also on a ball joint, but because of the nature of the model, you cannot really move it up or down too much. It's pretty much, you can only rotate in like this kind of plane. It's not too bad because you can do this, and also with the head, make it point straight up. It's not super realistic, but you could use a lot of poses with this thing, so it's pretty useful, I would say. I think the best angle is to look at it is from here, which is kind of like what they show in the box. So straight on looks a little bit weird. The eyes, I think, they're a little bit too close. There's something a little bit off about it when looking at it straight on, but as soon as you make it like at a particular angle, it just looks so much better. The legs, the front legs, they can articulate like this. They're on these ratcheted joints. You can bring them all the way back, all the way forward. The same thing, of course, on the other side. And there's ball joints at the ankles for optimum posability. But of course, the legs do not splay, so you cannot spread the legs outwards. And same thing for the hind legs, they cannot splay either, and their range is a little bit more limited, so this is as far up as they'll go. So they can't move too much, although there's like this additional bit of articulation here at the knees or the thighs, whatever it's called. Yeah, so a bit more articulation for the legs, but still not perfect. But it's good for what it is. If you want to make the thing sit down, then yeah, like it can sit down. If you want to make it stand up on its hind legs, let's try that. Let's see, can we do that? I mean, with a little bit of like a support here, it's not going to hold itself. Well, actually it can hold itself. You just have to move the tail strategically, move everything else just right, and you can make it pose like this. So that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I was not expecting that. And also make it stand on all fours like this. That's a very nice pose. Yeah, it's pretty dynamic, and I love the texture here. There's lots of studs not on top techniques to have you build not only from the top, but from this side, that side, a little bit underneath as well when it comes to the tail. So yeah, lots of good stuff here. The tail can also articulate up and down, rotate. There's an additional ball joint here. It's a very bushy tail, so it's really nice to see that. Yeah, this one can do this basically. So that's pretty nice. It's pretty cute. Yeah, and there's a lot of effort put here in the chest and the front to make it look very realistic. I really like that. And the LEGO designers have given us some very useful pieces to use if you want to make your own custom builds with the parts in the set. Lots of good stuff, and of course these foliage pieces. I'm not going to go through every single piece, but I think you get the idea. Well, the ears articulate as well. I don't know if I haven't talked about that, but I did show that quickly in my speed build. So you can play around with the ears as well. Yeah, so lots of articulation possibilities. No minifigure included, but you can add your own minifigures and they can sit here if you want to use this as part of some fantasy setting. Now let's take a look at the side build. So the bottom of this is reminiscent of a certain Star Wars ship. Leave a comment down below if you know what it is. You have a mushroom here. You have this stump here that looks pretty realistic. It was fun to put together. It has like some clips where you attach all these components around in like a kind of a circle. You have this tree here. Yeah, so just a quick correction. I realized this after filming the main part of the video. So actually these green pieces are not extra, but there's actually supposed to be 3 of them on each one, except on the last where there's 4. I did not look at the instructions for this. I just looked at the box very, very, very closely and realized that I made a mistake, so I do apologize. This is what the tree trunk looks like from all angles, and with all these leaves here, it appears more full, it appears more complete, so nicer to look at. And here it is again with the fox. Now let's have a conversation about price and value. This set, so all what you see here, is sold for $50 US, 50, or 65 Canadian, which I think is decent, especially if you look at the price per piece ratio. You have 667 pieces, so that's definitely not bad. Although a lot of these pieces are tiny, like this 1x1 piece here. On the other hand, you got a bunch of these ball joints and these ratchet joints, and there's a bunch in this set, and there's also a couple of them down here. And you got a bunch of foliage pieces as well. You got this ratchet joint right here. So there are some useful pieces in the set. So overall, I think it works out. Would I like this to be a little bit discounted? Of course, I'll never say no to a good discount, but it's fair. In 2024, 50 US, 65 Canadian, it's a fair price. It's not very large in size, but it makes up for it in terms of bulk and quality and high level of detail. In the past, LEGO sets would be much, much simpler than this, and they would cost about the same, or they would cost less, but when you factor in inflation, they would cost even more. So it's not too bad. At the same time, for someone who's not familiar with LEGO, if they just see this plastic, they might not realize that this should be worth that amount. So if you're not familiar with LEGO, like, yes, this will seem a bit expensive. Although the other thing going for the set is that it's a 3-in-1. So in addition to the fox, you can also build this nice squirrel and this cute owl. So let me know actually in a comment down below which one of these you want me to build next, this one or this one. Again, thank you so much for tuning in to Versatile Fun Designs and for watching this video, and stay tuned for the next one. Bye bye!